We have a liftoff.
Yo, 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 what it is, what it does, what it is, what it does, what it does. Let's redo that again. Nah, I ain't gonna play the intro again. Let's just start over. Let's just start it over. What's the word? What's up with y'all? How y'all living today? How y'all feeling today? As I can see in the title, we got some things that we got to talk about. Let me just go ahead and do my thug dizzle. You know, I should have did this before I got on this joint, but y'all know how I am. I'm normally late to the party, and yeah, I just wanna talk some ball with y'all today. You feel me? There's a lot of great things to talk about. A lot of great things to talk about. We are going to send this to the world, send this to the world, send this to the world. You feel me? And we're gonna get it going. I just wanna bang, paste, bang, 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 bang. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get this out real quick before I really, you feel me, get really, and I mean like really active. Yo, you know it's been crazy? My phone has been acting so slow lately, dog. And I know it's time for that 16 Plus Pro Max. But I really gotta, let me just get back in here. Let me just drop this real quick. Just go ahead and paste this. Bang! Drop my YouTube link, and I'm out of here. Alright, cool. So we got a lot to talk about. I think I want to start with the least controversial things, because today is Wild Take Wednesday, and I got a couple wild takes for y'all today. I think I'm going to start with the least controversial discussion on my discussion board today, and that's talking about the New York Giants and what I'm not a GM, I'm not a head coach, but as a fan, you feel me? As a fan of this team, as a fan who is tired, I'm genuinely tired. Like, my brother and I, shout out to my big brother, my older brother. He started this tradition for us to get us tickets every year to go to, you know, at least one primetime game for the Giants every year that we have one. So, you know, the last 3 years we've had, you know, 3 primetime games every year. Don't know why they keep giving us primetime games. But I'm very grateful for my older brother to do that for us. So we go and do that. And, you know, we went over the weekend to go see the Bengals play. Defense played. I can't ask my defense to play any better than what they did. I think a really bad play call on 3rd and 18, and I really can't fault them for anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, a really bad play call on 3rd and 18 gave them a free 7 points. You know, they were in field position. They kept our offense in good field position and give us the ball back. They forced turnovers. I mean, I really can't ask my defense to do any more than what they did. They generated 4 sacks, mad pressures. Brian Burns had a hell of a game. Dexter, hell of a game. Azeez Ojulari stepping in for Kayvon, hell of a game. You know what I'm saying? Drew Phillips, Tyler Nubin played really well. Jason Pinnock, I'm not gonna hold not recovering that fumble at the end of the game, you know, letting it slip through your body. I'm not going to hold that over you, man. I mean, I understand ball is on the ground, ball has to be ours, but I'm not going to hold that one play over you. Once you know, and you played 50 other snaps, you know, to a T. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame that. We limited the big plays. We gave up like two big plays all night. I can't be mad at how my defense played Sunday night. Now my offense, on the other hand, my offense is a little bit different. We could talk about my offense a lot differently. Tyrone Tracy played really well. The O-line held up really well for the most part. Only giving up a few sacks. Corin, what's up, my boy? Just doing a recap on Sunday night because I went to the game. Daniel Jones has to be benched. It's crazy. I was going through this earlier today with Meech, my co-host, off camera, and I was like, yo, it's crazy how many teams who weren't in QB purgatory as long as us, they were only in QB purgatory for like 2 years, 3 years, and they got their quarterback before us, which is crazy. You feel me? Like, I don't think the Bears were in QB purgatory. I just think they were in a staffing purgatory, and they ended up getting Caleb. Washington, they were without Kirk for a while. Got them a quarterback within a few years. Got Jaden. Patriots were without Tom Brady for what? It's been like 4 years, 5 years. Got a quarterback. Got two quarterbacks, right? But they got their guy in Drake May. Seattle got Geno. Minnesota got Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. So if Sam Darnold, you know what I'm saying? I know J.J. McCarthy's season's over, but it's teams that Giants were in the same position to get a quarterback, and we decided to stick with Daniel through the health injuries, through the lack of play. Like, it's just, and I'm sure Daniel Jones is a great guy. I'm sure he is a phenomenal individual, a great friend. It's not translating on the field. It's not, whatever it is, it's not working. Him and the New York Giants are not working out together. And I think it's time for us to finally move on. I don't know what they're holding over Brian Daboll over there in that office to make him continuously start him. Maybe it's because he knows the offense the best. I don't know, like, what's going on with Drew Lock. I don't know, but something's got to change, man. Because after Sunday, we looked abysmal after not having Malik Neighbors out there for the second week in a row. Absolutely abysmal. It's looked absolutely bad. I mean, the Seahawks game, I wonder if that game was fool's gold. I mean, our defense went crazy that game. Again, offense was pretty efficient that day, but Sunday was just like, where the hell did that offense go? What the hell happened? Darius Slayton dropping a whole bunch of passes. He made a couple big plays. We had a big play, and then it got called back because it was legal man downfield. It's just like everything offensively was going wrong. We had that one really good drive. That one, I think it was like 16 plays, and Tyrone Tracy scored in the red on the goal line. But after that, it was it. Like, we had a chance to go downfield, blew it. We missed 2 field goals. Went for it on 4th down, didn't convert it. We missed some open reads. It's too inconsistent for me, and I'm just ready for a new quarterback. I'm tired. I think we move on from Daniel. We cut our ties with him. We let him go explore and let somebody else pick him up. Maybe the Raiders might pick him up as a backup quarterback after they do their draft. Maybe Seattle picks him up as a backup, or Arizona. Somebody will pick him up as a backup because I think that's, what he's suited to be. I don't think he is a starter on most teams, majority teams. He can start for the Raiders, and that's just about it. I don't see him starting anywhere else. I mean, I don't. Maybe Miami right now before Tua comes back, or if something were to happen to Tua, God forbid that doesn't happen. But I just don't see. I just think him, Darius Slayton, those are two guys that I just feel like they need to reset somewhere else. And it's been trade talks that, Darius Slayton is on a trade block. He could be going somewhere. We could be moving off of him. Thank you. Take that. Take that $12 million, that $6 million, or whatever he's getting paid. Take that and send that somewhere else for right now. I just don't. We need a full reset. You know what I'm saying? We need a full reset. Andrew Thomas is out for the season. Evan Neal, it's time for you to step up. They're saying Josh Azidu is going to be starting left tackle. I just think that that's going to be hell. If they don't want to lose their fan base already as it is, I think they need to go ahead and probably make some better moves. Get all the draft capital that you can with this upcoming draft. Make it look promising. Make it look really good. Get something before you get nothing. And just going like we're in rebuild year. We've been in rebuild since 2016. Okay, it's been almost 10 years since we've been in rebuild. So, I mean, I don't know what else, how much more rebuilding we're going to have to do. Like, every 2 years, we're like, trash, do it again, trash, do it again, trash, do it again. So, I hope that this offseason we figure it out. I'm very done with the Giants this season. Blow the season, put it in a trash can, blow it up, start over offensively. But moving on, I got some other things that we can most definitely discuss, and that's what did I have up there? Oh, next controversial topic. It's not really so much controversial, but I'm gonna switch screens here. But first, let me mute the intro. Just want to direct y'all attention to this screen right here. So, as we all know, Justin Fields was the starter. He was the starter for the last 6 weeks. Went 4-2. Numbers are comparable to some of the top guys in the league. 10 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception, 5 on the ground, 5 in the air. I want to say this in the most straightforward way. It's no disrespect to Justin. What you're doing for your team is well. But like Coach Thomas said, let's not get good confused with great. And in that division, I don't think that, their first 6 games were tough as it were. But your schedule does not get easier going down the stretch. You still have to see the Bengals. You still have to see the Ravens. You still have to see the Browns. You have yet to play a division game yet. And what you produced in the first 6 weeks is not going to get you through the next 11. It's not. I mean, your defense can only cover up for your offense but for so long. We've seen that with the Giants. And, I mean, the Steelers' offense is better or similar to the Giants in a way. I just think that there's, Justin is the better decision maker than Daniel. But what I've watched from Daniel, he doesn't take, the 2 deep shots that he did take to George Pickens were the only 2 deep shots that I seen him take that were outside of the progressions. By that I mean he's extending a broken play and then he's throwing it downfield. There are plays where you're standing in a clean pocket and you're missing, the deep shots that are wide open. You're missing the explosive plays. And we've seen their explosive plays versus the Raiders, but it's the Raiders. It's the Raiders who are in QB purgatory. They're in offense purgatory. They have a few good players on offense. Their best player is a rookie on offense. He's a rookie tight end. That's their best player on offense, in my opinion. Brock Bowers is their best player on offense. Defensively, Max Crosby is your best player defensively, and I'm sure there are 4 teams right now calling for him. We want Max. We know what the hell y'all are going through over there. Tell me what you want for Max. We get it done. You know what I'm saying? That's to me. That's the Raiders win is not impressive to me. It's not impressive to me. I'm sorry. Especially because that's not the same Raiders team that we saw play against the better teams in the first 2 weeks. That makes sense. The Atlanta win, not impressive to me. The most impressive wins that Justin Fields has to me is they are the Chargers game, and then his performance versus the Colts, even though they lost that game due to the fumble. I think if he does not fumble that ball, they win that game as well. They're 5-1. Cool. And then in that case, then you could argue like, hey, like, all right, starting Russ right now might be, you know what I'm saying? What Future say? Trap. It's crap. Yeah. You feel me? Like that's when you could be like, I don't think we should go. But you're 4-2, which isn't bad. It's not bad. Okay, you're top 5 in the AFC. You're top 5 in your standings in your conference. But this is not what they brought. That's not what they brought Justin in. They brought Justin in to sit him behind Russ, and Russ was supposed to be the starter this year. And if it was gonna go downhill with Russ, then you move on to Justin, or you just let Justin sit back and watch and develop as a player in the background while the Steelers build up behind Russ. That's what their original plan was. Their original plan was not to have QB controversy like this and clash. And everybody knew that. So when your QB1 is ready to come back and he's ready to be healthy and you haven't seen what he can do fully with this team, you almost have to give him a shot because, like I said, you haven't seen anything too impressive from Justin Fields to definitively be like, yes, that's my guy for the future. That's my guy. Because what if after this 4-2 start, he goes freaking like 7-10? What then? Do you guys go get another quarter? I mean, between both quarterbacks, you're only paying less than $3 million for both quarterbacks. So you're not losing anything here, right? You might have lost the draft trade, the trade between you and the Chicago Bears for Justin Fields if you like cut him or something like that, or keep him as a backup. Maybe that turns out to be a loss. And you let Russ go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but I don't have a problem with starting Russ and letting him play the next 2 games. And if it's bad, like terrible, go back to Justin, and that's okay. Like it's the front office. People are saying it's gonna ruin this team. No, it's the front office's job and the coaching staff's job. It's not the front office. Excuse me. It's the coaching staff's job to pronounce this message to their players like, yo, this is what the game plan originally was, and we've looked better than what I don't even say we wouldn't look. I wouldn't even say that to my players. Better than anticipated. We've looked good in these first 6 weeks, but this is not our standard. This is not where we want to be. We want to be better than this because we can be better than this. You feel me? We can be better than this. Absolutely. I 100% believe that we can be better than this. And if Russ makes us better than what our original plan was to start Russ and have Justin sit, then that's what we're going to do. Because now we've seen what we've seen. We've got a 6-week sample versus, decent competition on what Justin Fields can do. Right? Now let's see what our vet can do, who's seen 100 different defenses, who's been in big games, Super Bowls, conference championships, playoff games, MVP conversations, all pros. You know what I'm saying? A guy who's seasoned, who's a vet. He's a vet. So he's seeing things, and especially coming off the season he just had with the Broncos and dealing with all the on-field and off-field stuff he was dealing with, and still played pretty well and bounced back from like one of the most horrible seasons that he's probably had in his career as a quarterback. Give Russ the shot. Let Russ, come in, cook, do what he's supposed to do with this team, and we go from there. Do I think that this team is a playoff team? Absolutely. I think their defense alone gets them to the playoffs. I think their defense alone carries them to the playoffs. Let's just look at the rest of their schedule real quick. I'm gonna switch screens. I don't know what's on this iPad screen before I start doing stuff. So let's just go and we'll look at it together. But let me just pull it up first. The Dodgers are up on the Mets 2-0. I don't like that. I want the Mets to win so that they could play the they can make it to the World Series. I want them to win until they get to the World Series. All right, so we're going to look at this together. Excuse me. Oh, okay, we're going to look at this together. All right, so this Sunday night they have the Steelers. Or the Steelers. We are looking for the Steelers. They have the Jets, and then they have the Giants. Then they got the Commanders, the Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs. Yeah, no. I would say 1, 2, 3 of these games are guaranteed. 3 of these games are guaranteed victories, I would say. The Giants should be a win because TJ Watt, with no Andrew Thomas, TJ Watt is going to give us hell. Okay? Let's see. The Browns should be a win. I think y'all should actually sweep the Browns, if I'm being completely honest. And then that's it. I mean, every other game is a toss-up. Every other game is 50-50. Maybe you split with the Bengals and you split with the Ravens. Maybe. I mean, the Ravens should have won that game last year in the middle of the season when y'all played them last year at Pittsburgh because those receivers were dropping everything. They couldn't catch a flu even if they tried. They were dropping everything that game. They left like 21 points on the board, on the field, from all the drops that happened that last game. Yeah, hopefully it's a little different in this game, but that should be a good game in Pittsburgh. But right now, the way that the Ravens are playing, I find it very hard to believe that, like, they won't put up the points to outscore the Raiders. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, the Steelers. I'm looking at the Raiders in the chat. They should put up enough points to outscore the Steelers, in my opinion. And hold that offense, little to like 7 to 10 points and, be able to outscore. It's going to be a gritty game. It's going to because real Steelers and Ravens, always a gritty game. But in my prediction, I genuinely like the Ravens in that game. Yeah, I just don't. They're going to make the playoffs. But it's going to be as like the 6th or 7th seed. I'm not going to lie to you. But with that being said, though, that brings me into my next topic, though. That brings me into my next controversial statement. So we have let's just take like the top. Let's just take 7 teams, okay? Let's just take 7 teams. I'm just gonna. Let's say you got the Chiefs, the Ravens, Houston, and the Bills for the AFC. Those are your division winners. And then you have the Jets, the Steelers, and the Chargers that make the playoffs in the AFC, right? And then you have, for the NFC side, you have, let's say, Philly, Minnesota, no, Philly, Detroit, doesn't matter. Philly, Detroit, 49ers, and Atlanta wins their division. Then you got Tampa, Washington, and Seattle or Minnesota. Damn. That's going to be a tough. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Anyways, let's just say those 7 teams make it. Okay, I had a really, really good discussion about this the other day. Really good. Of all those teams, are all those teams Super Bowl contenders? Are the Falcons Super Bowl contenders? Are the Chargers Super Bowl contenders? Are the Bucks Super Bowl contenders? Right now, from like a talent standpoint, I think when we look at teams early in a season and we look at their roster, we're saying they're Super Bowl contenders. We looked at the Jets, they're Super Bowl contenders. We looked at the Lions, they're Super Bowl contenders. We looked at the Chiefs. We know what they've done for the last 2 years. That automatically solidifies them Super Bowl contenders. Ravens, still Super Bowl contenders even after the AFC loss. 49ers, Super Bowl contenders. Right? Bills. I don't know. But because they're in that division, Super Bowl contenders, right? But then what about the teams that are in that 7th and 6th spot? Tampa Bay. Are they Super Bowl contenders? At the beginning of the season, are we looking at them as Super Bowl contenders? Minnesota, are we looking at them as Super Bowl contenders before the season starts? Right? Other teams like the Chargers, are we looking at them as Super Bowl contenders when the season starts? We're not. The simple answer is we're not. Are we looking at the Steelers as Super Bowl contenders in the beginning of the year? No, we're not looking at those teams. Those teams that are at that 6 to 7 spot, they don't get, or well, not even 6 to 7 spot. Those teams that don't have that Super Bowl contending roster at the beginning of the year, they don't get looked at as Super Bowl contenders. But what my argument was, what my hot take is that if you make the playoffs, no matter what seed you are in, to me, that automatically makes you a Super Bowl contender to me. To me. Okay? That's my hot take. If you make the playoffs, whether you're the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th seed, you are automatically a Super Bowl contender to me. Let me explain. When you're in the regular season, you have 18 weeks to say, okay, next week. We'll be back next week. We could bounce back next week. Oh, we only mid-season. We got like 8 weeks left to go. We'll bounce back. We can shake back. We'll be all right. Not in the playoffs. Not in January. Come January, it ain't no next week. You don't know what next week looks like. Next week, you might be in Cancun. Next week, you might be in Cozumel. You might be in Turks and Caicos. Bora Bora. You feel me? Next week, you do not know what next week brings in January. It's not guaranteed. Those wins are not guaranteed in the playoffs. We may assume that those teams, right, are going to win in the playoffs. We may assume that, but you do not know. Anything can happen. I'll just use my team as a prime example. When we made the playoffs in 2010 and 2012, we were not Super Bowl contenders in the beginning of the year. We were not Super Bowl contenders. We get to the playoffs, we shake some shit up, we get to the Super Bowl, we win. Right? We win. Cool. Were we Super Bowl contenders in that situation? Yes. You make the playoffs, you're automatically a Super Bowl. It's a 50-50 chance that you are going to win the game. It's a 50-50 chance that you move on. It's either you do or you don't. You flip flip a coin. You either win or you don't win. And you win, you move on to the next round. You do it again, you move on to the next round. You do it again, you move on to the next round. Super Bowl. That's my take on it. I think once, because it could be a bad matchup. You feel me? I don't think, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think the Bills want to see the Ravens in the playoffs. Not after what happened a couple weeks ago. I don't think Amari Cooper really, I think it changes the way that offense plays on third downs. I think it changed the way that offense plays on third downs. Right? And maybe some passing concepts change a little bit, right? Maybe Josh Allen's eyes move a little bit differently, right? Maybe it opens up some other guys differently, but they don't want to see the Ravens again. They don't. That defense doesn't want to see the Ravens again. You just let the Jets, who don't have a really great old line, as we can see right now. I mean, they have Tyron Smith, who's a little bit old, Morgan Moses, who's supposed to be really good. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. That interior O-line is not the best, but you let them rush for 100 yards. The Ravens damn near ran for 200 on y'all. So we can see what your weak point is. Y'all can't stop the run versus better teams. And if you match up with the team who lost in the AFC Championship because they didn't run the ball enough, you think they're gonna make the same mistake twice? Shit. Not with Derrick Henry in the backfield. Shit. That's a bad matchup. Or let me give you that's a bad example. This is gonna be a very hot take. Very, 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 very hot take. But if the Chargers make the playoffs, if the Chargers get that 7th spot and make the playoffs, or the 6th spot and make the playoffs, and they match up with the Bills, shit. If the Chargers make the playoffs and match up with the Bills, shit. Woo. Hey, I got a better one for you. I think it's, let's just say the Jets win that division. I don't think they will, but let's just say that the Jets win that division, right? They go on an 11-game streak or whatever. They win like 7 of their next 11 games and they win that division, right? And the Bills are like the 5th seed, and Houston is the 4th seed, or they're the Bills are the 6th seed, and they match up with Houston that's in like the 2nd or 3rd seed, whatever the case may be. If they match up with Houston in the playoffs, with Joe Mixon in the playoffs, the way, like, I don't think y'all understand that, like, yeah, they got CJ Stroud, and yeah, he's a dueler, but their primary game has been on the ground to open up the pass. Like, yeah, he could drop back and throw that motherfucker, don't get me wrong. But in both games that Joe Mixon has played before, the injury and all that case may be, Joe Mixon ran for $152, I think, with 2 touchdowns, and then last week he went crazy as well. The Joe Mixon revival is actually insane. That's a bad matchup for the Bills in a play. Whoo! With Nico, that's a bad matchup for the Bills, man. That's a bad. Let's go to the NFC side now. Let's go to the. I don't want to just shut on the Bills. I mean, I think the Bills are going to be really great this season. Well, I think they'll finish strong like they normally do. I think like the month of November to December is normally that time where Josh Allen really get activated. You feel me? That's the time he really turned it up a notch. But I just got to see some more from that guy. He's not my MVP. I'm sorry. He's not my MVP. You can't go 9 for 30 and I call you my MVP. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't. I cannot. I can't. You can't go. You can't go. You can't start off 3-0 and then go into Baltimore talking hot shit about your former teammate, and then you don't put up no touchdowns, and you only put up 180 yards and only 10 points. No. And you're supposed to be better than that guy on the other side of the field, number 8. No, I'm sorry. I can't put you in my MVP conversations. But again, I think they're gonna have a fantastic. I think they're gonna have like these next few weeks are gonna be really good for them, and then they have a really tough gauntlet in the like last 6 weeks of the season. It's gonna be really good football in December, especially for the Bills. But let's go to the NFC side. Let's talk about the matchups on the NFC side, right? I think Atlanta is a bad matchup for a lot of teams. I think Atlanta is a very bad matchup for a lot of teams. I think that the Packers, although Jordan Love is closing, I think he's like top 2, top 3 in passing touchdowns right now. I think, right? And he's missed a few games, but he's came back and he's starting to get it going. What I seen versus Minnesota was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't like the turnovers, but you came back, you did what you did. I mean, you still lost, but you did what you did. You balled a little bit. This last game was a little bit more concerning for me. Although you came out with a victory, I didn't like the gambling throws that you made, backpedaling, and then you throw off your back foot to the front pylon, and that DB was terrible, but Romeo Doubs made a fantastic effort. He gave fantastic effort and came down with that ball and scored. And then you throw to Christian Watson over 3 people, which should have been an interception, but it's throws like that scare me a little bit. That's like, sir, versus a better defense, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. But yeah, I think like, let's just say somehow, some way, the Cowboys find a way to make the playoffs. They're a 7th seed. Let's say they match up with Atlanta. Everybody's not so high on Atlanta getting that division. I am. I think Atlanta's going to walk away with that division. Not walk away, but I think they're going to clinch that division by like week 15, week 16. They'll clinch that division. Atlanta versus Dallas. Give me Atlanta today. Give me Atlanta. 100%. Because Dallas can't stop the run. I think that's going to be a lot of teams. Like this year, a lot of teams are trying to stop the pass. They're so focused on limiting the pass that they're forgetting about the run. And they're not loading these boxes up. They're scared to run one high. It's been tough for defenses lately. I mean, the ones that get it, they get it. I mean, the Ravens defense, they get it. They're number 1 in run defense. They're not giving up the run. Okay? Pass defense could be a lot better. Zach Orr, DMPs, the pass defense could be a lot better. Okay? I don't like what I'm seeing from you guys on the passing tip. It could be a lot better. But, shit, a lot of these teams can't stop the run, man. Now, if you go up against a team that can't run the ball, just say like the Bengals can't run the ball. They can't. Or I want to stay in the NFC side, a team offensively that can't really run the ball that can make the playoffs. Let's see. Not the Commanders. The Bears are finding a groove. Philly, we know about Philly and their run game. They can run the ball. Who else? Washington, they can run the ball. Dallas can't run the ball. Seattle can run the ball. 49ers obviously can run the ball. Packers, I haven't seen too much from Josh Jacobs. I think they're focusing on Jordan Love a lot right now. I'm not entirely sure if they can run the ball, but with Josh Jacobs in the backfield, I would assume that you can run the ball. I'm just trying to think. Minnesota, Aaron Jones was just put on IR. Cam Akers will probably be the starting back coming in. They were running the ball pretty effectively. I think losing Aaron Jones is going to hurt them a lot. Lions obviously can run the ball. There's a lot of teams in the NFC that run the ball really well, actually. I think majority of the NFC does run the ball. I really can't find like a bad matchup right now. Like, maybe if I wrote it down on paper. I think Detroit's the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. I'm trying to think. I think every NFC game is 50-50 if it's not like the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I'm leaning to the better team. But like if Packers played Atlanta, that's a damn good game. If the Eagles played Detroit, that's a damn good game. I can't find a bad matchup in that. I can't. But yeah, that's my take on that. That's my hot take on that. I think any team, no matter what seed it is, you make that 7th seed, you make that 6th seed, 5th seed, 4th seed, 3rd seed, 12th seed, whatever it is, you are a playoff contender. And I'm going to leave y'all on that. Because as y'all can see, my eyes are red. And I need to get some sleep. I'm tired as hell. Okay. We'll be back. Like I said, new schedule's coming soon. I'll be going live a lot earlier. So that way I can get a lot more stuff done. But that's soon, though. Not just yet. Maybe in a couple weeks. I'll be back Friday. We'll be back Friday. We'll be back Saturday morning and Sunday morning. We're back to our regular schedule program. And then we're going to ramp it up next week. Because I'm not going to be here next weekend. So I'm going to get y'all as much content as I possibly can. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Clip it. Send it to somebody. Say, listen to this goofy ass dude talk and tell me what you think. Blah, 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 blah. Do whatever. I will do the same. Let's build this up. Y'all see, I got 13 days left. 13 days left to get to 100. If I can get, 32 people to sub in 13 days, that would be great. That'd be great. Tell a friend. Come sub to the channel. It doesn't hurt. All right. I appreciate everybody, again, for coming through. If you came through, you spent some time. Until then, peace.
3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.